Hello, everyone. This is Mary Esther Miranda Gilbert, nutritional physiologist, nutritional healing specialist, and founder of the True Health Mastery Institute of Holistic Personal Health Management, and also the publishing editor of the True Health Journal newsletter. So today I'm going to be talking about the pineal gland. There's a lot of talk out there about the calcification of the pineal gland and how it's the seat of the soul. It's this tiny little gland in the middle of our brain, and it's so powerful. So I'm going to go over the science of its physiology and its functioning, and then I'm going to go into why we need it so much and why it's making so much difference in our lives and how it can set you free from being enslaved, living in a fog, living in a matrix that you may not even know you're living in. So freeing up your mind and your spirit is one of the main focuses of people, what people are going through now. So we need to look at the physiology because that's part of our spirituality, and it's very closely tied together. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we'll get started right away. Alrighty, so let's take a look here. All right, so this is the issue 3 of the True Health Journal newsletter, and I'm starting to share part of the newsletter with people out there, who are desperately searching for answers to improve their health, recover their health, regenerate themselves, body, mind, and soul. Okay, so you've got to start at the DNA level because that's where God speaks to us. This is where our origins are from. The creation of our DNA, our genetic instructions of this intelligent, just being alive and being a living being is what we are. So keeping that preserved and keeping it protected from all sorts of modern technological invasions. And there's just so much going on out there. I don't know if you've done any kind of research yourselves, but it seems pretty scary to a lot of people out there when all you need to do is just focus on nourishing that genetic code of life that's inside of every single one of your 37 trillions of cells, maintaining that to make sure it's working properly. And so I've gone over all that it takes to be completely and optimally healthful in all of the videos on this channel. So if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe. Tap that notification bell to make sure that you're not going to miss any kind of information, life-saving information, the scientific research that I produce and share with people on a regular basis. So I don't want you to miss out on anything like that because it can very well be very life-saving for anyone, yourself or your loved ones or anyone you know. So sharing this information gets the YouTube going to share this kind of stuff in front of more people and to draw more attention to the True Health Journal newsletter where there's life-saving information that I'm providing to everyone. Okay, now that said, I'm going to go ahead and skip over I'm going to read you my editor, a note from the editor on this newsletter, because I think it's pretty profound. I spoke from the heart and I just poured it out, and I'd really like to share it with everyone. And those of you who are already Institute members and know me, you know that I speak from the heart. Okay, so as we continue our quest for true health, gaining the life-saving knowledge that elevates our spirits, individually strengthening body, mind, and soul, we become a part of a communication network at a level that's not seen, but nonetheless influences without words through what physicists call the ether, or the mind of God. As we collectively feel, learn, experience, think, and speak, and teach about the factual and proven tenets of true health mastery, we help influence and elevate the world through the intangible yet all-pervading consciousness that goes beyond the five senses. Considering there are still millions of people, often silently, desperately searching for the right answers that will rescue their health, you, as True Health Mastery viewers and members of the Institute, find that fundamental inner happiness begins at the micro-universe within us. nurtured through optimal, biologically correct nourishment that literally raises the body's DNA energetic frequency to resonate in tune with the earth and with the entire universe, God's creation. The frequency of 7.83 hertz is called the heartbeat of the planet and corresponds to our own alpha brain waves that are associated with healing and regeneration, inner calm, and focus. Now, in 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, it says, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? Therefore, honor God with your bodies." Again, we are completely interspersed, intermixed, integrated between our bodies and our minds and our spirits. So we have to take care of these bodies because it elevates us back toward the frequencies at which God made us, God intended for us to exist at. As the human saga continues throughout volatile world changes, and people may feel swept away, disoriented, fearful, or hopeless, rest assured that you, in your steady health vibrancy, are the foundation that naturally, through mere existence, keeps you, those around you, and by extension, the world, from descending into darkness. Do not allow negativity to drag you down. There's so much darkness in the world that's just being out in the open right now. It's all being exposed. So we do not want to get dragged down by any of the viciousness and the corruptedness and the lies that are being told everywhere. So we have to first nourish our bodies, raise our vibrational frequencies, and that includes the pineal gland, the center of the soul, in order to discern and recognize all the evilness that's going on in the world. So that is the way to truly have the cognition and the perceptivity of knowing truth from falsifications and lies. Okay, so that's how the body and the mind and the spirit work together through our connection to recognize truth. So many people are so dragged into so many false prophets, false lies, and everything that's going on in the world that's just so corrupt and so evil. Okay, so raising your own vibration automatically puts you up there so that you can have a 40,000-foot view as to what's really going on. In your inner healthful homeostasis begins in the health of your brain's pineal gland, and the influencing energy you exude from this tiny but powerful gland extends out into the world, transcending all barriers just by your soul energy body's presence of being in your own health vibrancy. So again, I spoke from the heart. I just, listen and see what comes to me and see what the Holy Spirit compels me to say. So I thought I would share that with all of my viewers out there. It doesn't matter what your religious affiliations are. When you tap into your DNA and connect with the ultimate creator, the ultimate source, it goes beyond religion. It goes beyond whatever belief system you've been programmed or ingrained in, from generation to generation. It's time for that kind of truth to be coming out as well. There are so many truths coming out. Please prepare yourselves. Be healthy so that you can be strong to hear what might scare the living daylights out of you otherwise, right? So you have to elevate yourself so that you can have a better perspective and approach things more calmly from a much more calm and logical perspective, and also be able to feel the truth within your heart and soul. Your body tells you if something's not right, right? Okay, so as you can see, I always install a table of contents for my readers of the True Health True Health Journal newsletter. So as you can see, I'm going to be going over the first section in the newsletter right now, the featured articles. So I'm going to be covering the pineal gland, the physiology of it, its functions, and how it gets calcified. Kidneys can get calcified, and other plaques can form all over the body, right? In the blood vessels, in your organs. They obstruct the circulatory system. They prevent the even flow of energy that's supposed to be going through the body all of the time. So in my other videos on this channel, I talk about all the things that cause disease and illness and how scientists have for decades been discovering the plant kingdom and all the wonderful health improvement value they offer to us. So if you haven't explored my YouTube channel, you can get a huge education because I've done a tremendous amount of research, scientific reviews, the most credible scientific research you can find in the world. That's the depth to which I go to present information to everyone every single twice a month now, you know. All right, so anyhow, I will go into fluoride too and how that affects the pineal gland and how important it is for the body to produce melatonin, which is produced by the pineal gland as well. Now, the rest of the newsletter for the paying True Health Mastery Institute members, there are botanicals shown by the scientists to improve how the pineal gland works and how to prevent a lot of the health conditions that are formed because of an unhealthy pineal gland. So that will be for the Institute members. If you'd like to join, I will show you how to join at the end of this video. And you'll want to join because you'll be getting life-saving information so that you can make the right health choices for you and your family and your loved ones. And anyone who will see how healthy you become will be inspired to follow what you're doing as well. So spreading the true health movement is very, very important, especially now. All right, and I also include a no grain, easy bread recipe that's, just gluten-free. So yeah, if you're a member, you get a lot more information, but I'd like to still share the gist of the subject matter that I'm presenting tonight on the pineal gland. Okay, so the pineal gland. Here's the physiology. It has a complex vascular system of arteries, capillaries, and veins with a filtration rate of blood that exceeds that of most organs, second only to the kidneys' blood flow. Now, this system makes the pineal subject to chronic vascular inflammation during certain disorders or in the natural aging process, but you can put off this hardening, calcification, blocking of information of your pineal gland, and I'll show you how. So here's a diagram of the pituitary and the pineal glands. So as you can see, these glands are very tiny. They're centered right, inside the brain there. The pineal gland is like a cone, like a Christmas cone or pine cone shape. And many depictions and art, ancient art, sculptures have represented the pineal gland by a cone-shaped kind of figure. Okay, so just so you know where it's situated in your brain. Now here is a electron micrograph. Because it's so tiny, it's no bigger than the end of my little pinky fingernail. It's pretty small. But so these are electron micrographs of the brain matter that surrounds the pineal gland, and you'll see this white area around the pineal tissue, which, as you see inside, it's got its own filtration system and blood circulatory system, right? So on the outside is the, you can see that it's from the body's misuse or misallocation of calcium and other minerals. So it's called the calculi, and people who have kidney problems or kidney stones will have this kind of calculi forming in the kidneys as well. So this forms around the pineal gland, so it blocks any kind of nutrients, oxygenation, or any other vibrational frequency information that can be vibrating inside the brain. Okay, so the pineal gland has been recognized for over 2,000 years, and I think it goes back way farther than that. It's located in the center of the brain outside of the blood-brain barrier. So a French person named René Descartes, I forget how to pronounce it. I think the S is silent. But anyhow, that's who discovered the pineal gland back in 1596. And he lived until 1650. French philosopher, mathematician, and scientist regarded the pineal gland as the principal seat of the soul and the place in which all thoughts are formed. The pineal gland function, okay, let's look at how it functions. Its main function is to receive information about light and darkness from your environment and to convey that information through the production of the hormone melatonin. The rhythmic production of melatonin regulates the internal circadian clock that's produced during the dark period of the day and maintains regular sleep cycles by monitoring current light-dark cycles. The light exposure of a cycle is the most important factor in pineal gland functioning and melatonin secretion. The pineal gland is in direct communication with the brain's hippocampus, primarily through melatonin, which affects the neurotransmitters. Now, here are some neurotransmitters. Serotonin, it's a critical neurotransmitter or nerve-to-nerve communication, transmission of electrical signals, and hormone that regulates sleep, mood, digestion, body temperature, wound healing. And the other one, gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA, a naturally occurring amino acid that inhibits stress reactions and induces calmness. Dopamine, a vital neurotransmitter and hormone synthesized in the brain and the kidneys. All right, so these are feel-good communicators that get around in our nervous system, communicate the brain signaling, what we receive, through the brain information, travels through the nervous system at lightning speed and just delivers information as quick as you can blink an eye. All right, so the pineal is also a stress modulator in the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. So these three systems, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the adrenal glands, are all communicating. And so when you have this superhighway of information going on between different body systems or different areas of the body, then they call it an axis. So the HPA regulates cortisol production and manages immune responses, moods, and mobilizes energy, helping to prevent mental health disorders like anxiety and depression. So, the pineal gland calcification. Several scientific studies have reported that melatonin has anti-aging properties under the right biochemical conditions, such as consuming phytonutrient-rich, fresh whole plant foods that help protect against the decline in melatonin production. So pineal gland calcification can start early in life, even in newborns. Calcification can accelerate the aging process, leading to a reduced light detection capacity. So how do you think that affects your sleep, right? If your brain can't detect the difference between stark light and darkness, then it's going to get confused and your sleep cycles are going to be disrupted. There's growing evidence that melatonin exhibits anti-tumoral activity, slowing the progression of breast and prostate cancers. Increased melatonin production at night showed DNA damage that was significantly lower in rodents than DNA damage that occurred due to little melatonin production during the day. So your body doesn't produce a lot of melatonin during the day compared to what it does at night or in darkness. With pineal calcification, there's a decline in melatonin production, which is associated with an increase in pediatric primary brain tumors. Now, scientists are out there testing things and just finding out information and posting their research studies on databases, all over. So if you're doing any kind of research on anything, please include the search phrase science journal with your search phrase so that you can bypass the misinformation, the incomplete information, the disinformation, and incomplete, inaccurate information. Make sure you're looking at the scientific research studies, especially the peer-reviewed studies. That way you'll get more of the truth, or at least closer to it. So fluoride, okay, I did a video on fluoride, the adverse health effects on fluoride. Let's see what it does to the pineal gland. High levels of fluoride, widely used in dentistry to reduce dental caries, accumulates in the pineal gland. It was found to be 5 times higher than accumulations in the brain. This level of fluoride in the pineal is positively correlated with its calcium level, and therefore researchers assert that decreasing environmental fluoride pollution can delay or avoid premature pineal calcification. All right, so if you eliminate fluoride out of your, if you don't drink tap water, and if you don't use toothpaste with fluoride in it, I haven't used toothpaste with fluoride in over 30 years, and my dentist said, no cavities. Wow. Okay, what does that tell you? You don't need fluoride to avoid cavities. Fluoride is not even considered an essential nutrient. Okay, it's considered a pollutant, and I talk a lot about it in that other video that I just mentioned on this channel. All right, so the fluoride pollution can delay or avoid premature pineal calcification. Okay, and decreasing it, that is. So researchers conclude that the best way to maintain and protect a healthy pineal gland is to rejuvenate it by decalcification. So if you do a search on decalcification, Google searches won't give you information about how exactly to decalcify your pineal gland. AI comes up and says, because it's still learning, right? And it's searching and trying to find answers. So it comes back and says, oh, there's no way to decalcify the pineal gland. Well, I will give you some brief hints as to the kinds of things that botanicals, their powerful phytochemical complexes in plants, have been shown to prevent a lot of the health issues that are caused by pineal calcification. So there's a gap of factual data there, and I know that it's out there somewhere, but it's not being revealed to the public. And so we have to keep digging. We have to keep demanding as human beings, sovereign human beings, right, on this world, to demand truth in reporting, truth in scientific information, the right to know. We do have the right to know. So I dig pretty deep, and I didn't come up with that much as far as anything that says on the internet, ways to decalcify. However, I have been doing this for 46 years, and I made not just an intuitive leap, but an educated leap as to bridging the effects of calcification on the pineal gland and all of the health issues, heart disease and dementia, things like that, that are the result of a calcified pineal gland, according to the research. Vast amounts of research, yes, but they don't quite make that admission that the plant kingdom just might be able to decalcify it. Okay, so we need more research to absolutely say that out loud, right? So anyhow, yeah, like I said, I've been researching things for a long time. And so sometimes when I make these kinds of educated guesses, lo and behold, when I'm doing research later on, in the future, weeks, months, years, I come up with, I am vindicated. I was right. I made that intuitive leap and I was able to do that. And that's what it takes when you're deeply immersed in knowledge over a long period of time. You're able to make those kinds of intuitive leaps based on, just education and information that you've been able to uncover. So I know a lot of you experts out there know what I'm talking about. All right. So I think I forgot where I was reading from. Let's see. High levels of fluoride, widely used in dentistry to reduce dental caries. I think I read that. The level of fluoride in the pineal is positively correlated with its calcium level. Researchers assert that decreasing environmental fluoride pollution can delay or avoid premature pineal calcification. I think it's good to review this, but yes, I did say this. Researchers conclude that the best way to maintain and protect a healthy pineal gland is to rejuvenate it by decalcification. Okay, now I remember where I was at. That's what's made me go off on that little tangent there. All right, so fluoride accumulation in the pineal gland has been shown to affect melatonin secretion. Okay, and evidence shows that prolonged fluoride exposure harms mental functioning, especially in children and pregnant women. The use of fluoride gently necessitates critical investigations of public health practices, since research reveals neurotoxic effects such as lower IQ scores in children who consume Fluoride. I had a dentist a while back that I stopped going to because when I tried to inform them of the actual toxic effects of fluoride, they thought I was crazy and they were even, just a little bit condescending. So I said, okay, well, I can send you the scientific data, but if you're not going to read it, then what good am I doing here, right? See ya. I went to a different dentist. Okay, so investigative studies support the link between fluoride exposure and increased rates of psychiatric disorders, and they also emphasize the need for holistic approaches in high fluoride areas. So that's great, right? Scientists are saying, hey, they're starting to come out of the woodwork and just saying these things out loud. We need a holistic approach, and especially in areas where high fluoride use is affecting people's health. Studies show the significant correlations between fluoride levels, calcified pineal glands, and higher rates of mental health issues. Study participants with calcified pineal glands linked to fluoride exposure had more mood disorders, anxiety, obsessive compulsive behavior, and decreased cognitive functioning. Results of investigations show that there is a clear correlation between high fluoride regions and psychiatric disorders or cognitive impairments. There are considerable dietary influences showing that nutrition and eliminating fluoride in drinking water can help alleviate fluoride's harmful effects. Nutrition and eliminating fluoride, those are the keys. Researchers assert that policymakers need to prioritize the health risks by the presence of fluoride in municipal water supply systems. Given population longitudinal, did I say that right? Longitudinal. Okay, that's the right one. Studies. Elevated fluoride levels in communities are associated with higher rates of mental health disorders, pineal gland calcification, and impaired function, and neurological diseases. Now, the botanicals that I go over on this newsletter have been shown to assist in reversing a lot of these disorders. Okay, so what does that tell you? Are they working with the pineal gland? Well, we need more science to prove that, don't we? But we can make that little assumption without a lot of scientific data to back us up with. But the empirical data, the sort of the what you see, and how people feel once they start improving their diet with these wonderful healing botanicals, and they do start thinking better, feeling better, acting better, and memory starts coming back, and their neurological problems have improved also. So, there's something going on, right? And there's plenty of science that shows a lot of other botanicals can reverse many of these problems, but we have to have that scientific proof. So that's what we're waiting for. So these demographic variables scrutinized by researchers provide a better view of how environmental factors influence pineal gland calcification. So the scientists, they're just skirting the issue, but they're starting to be more brave and just touch on, hint on the fact that botanicals have so many different ways of improving how the body functions at the microcell level. Enacting guidelines about fluoride as a neurotoxin is often excluded from community health initiatives. And this is, I'm quoting paraphrasing what the scientists report in this, summarization. So it's often excluded from community health initiatives. So enacting, these guidelines, these lawful guidelines, have in essence been blocked, ignored, right? And that includes the attempt to set up public health policies on autism spectrum disorder pathology. So, some people will tell you that autism is not a disorder, and some scientists will come forward and say that it is. So we need more science on this as well, right? I think a lot of it has been blocked, and not necessarily that scientists don't want to touch it. There's a lot of negativity as far as politics goes in blocking a lot of these very amazing affirmations of what the botanicals, the plant kingdom, can do for our health. All right, so it's difficult to implement health protective measures for the population. Okay, so they're dismissive. There's political and social factions that are working toward. I think it's pretty obvious, if you pay attention to what's going on in our House of Representatives, for instance, and see what goes on there. If you ever look at the live hearings, that are going on there. So there's a lot of information that you can pick up to make better informed discernment decisions about your health. So I'll show you this photograph here. This is a micrograph electronic photograph. It shows the calcified pineal gland of a 63-year-old man, which is sharply defined on the left image here, compared to the others, revealing undetectable and slightly detectable calcification. So as you can see in these, on the left side, there's a solid white, mass that doesn't show up, that does not provide any information about the pineal gland. It's covered up with this calcified plaque. And in this other photo in B, you can see that there's no appearance of any, or just maybe a very small amount that's actually forming, right? So they have various cross sections of the brain showing various stages of this calcification process. All right, so let's talk about the importance of the pineal's melatonin production. The hormone melatonin, it's synthesized by the pineal gland, which is the size of a soybean, and the signaling molecule relaying light or dark environments is necessary for protecting optimal health. Melatonin is recognized as the major product of the pineal gland and is the derivative of the essential amino acid tryptophan. So if you're eating a high nutrient balanced diet that includes animal-derived proteins, then you're getting enough tryptophan. Tryptophan is one of the nine essential amino acids the body needs to produce in order to create all of its proteins. There's nothing but proteins that go on in this body other than the few nutrients circulating, and everything is made out of protein. Our blood vessels, our hair, our skin, our nails, our organs, everything, our enzymes, our hormones, they're all proteins. And there are so many signaling proteins too that our bodies need to make on a regular basis. So we need a diet that contains all of those essential amino acids. But tryptophan happens to be the one that helps your body produce melatonin. Okay. Yet the pineal has the highest calcification rate compared to all the other organs and tissues in the body, and the condition is linked to various nerve degenerative diseases. So it's very important to improve your diets, eat a lot of raw enzyme active, light energy frequency active plant foods in the plant kingdom, a huge variety of them. Eat organic foods so that you're not accumulating the toxins from the pesticides and other pollutants in the world. So you want to maintain a clean inner biochemistry and clean inner ecology, so that your body has all the electrical pulses going properly. Your body's generating the right balance of hormones, which monitor everything, and both together they regulate the hormones, right, and the immune system. So they all have to regularly communicate. So the pineal gland is one of the master glands in the brain that will regulate how you feel, how you think, how your body can protect itself. All right, so studies show there are several physiological conditions that can alter the form of the pineal gland. The pineal gland of obese individuals is often significantly smaller than that of a lean person. Probably has to do with their diet, their nutrient intake, their glandular functioning. So all these things combined can contribute to obesity, stress levels. Your body produces cortisol and other inflammatory proteins and hormones that contribute to the dysregulation of your glands that control your body weight and how your body handles sugars and fats in your diet, eating the wrong fats. I mean, all those things I cover in the videos on this channel. So you can have a field day, have a blast going through all the videos and learning all you need to know to maintain your optimal health vibrancy. And as an Institute members, we'll go into more and more details. Okay, so now also the volume of a pineal gland is reduced in patients with primary insomnia and may be related to a functional sleep disorder. So does the calcification of the pineal gland cause functional sleep disorders or dysregulation of your sleep, not having regular sleep time periods? You know, it's time to go to bed at a single time as much as you possibly can in your busy lives every single night and be consistent that way. Now, does that cause calcification? So you don't know which comes first, the chicken or the egg. So you have to get back to making sure you're nourishing your body properly so that it can get rid of a lot of this calculi. You know, I've done research on several botanicals that are known to dissolve kidney stones. The science is there. And I've seen it with my own eyes in 2 people and several clients, 2 of my friends that I had to take to the hospital because they were doubled over in so much pain from kidney stones. And then they proceeded to try the botanicals. And one of the person, at least I know of other people as well, tried this particular botanical. It's on my it's on my YouTube channel. Look for it, how to dissolve kidney stones. But yeah, this can be done. So I've seen it. The science is there. It's very solid. It's very clear. You know, so the phenotype of the pineal gland may be changed by one's health status or environmental factors in humans. All right. So your physiology of your pineal gland is so important, and you have to protect it with the right types of nourishment. Recent studies found that organs, tissues, and cells have the ability to synthesize melatonin via the same enzymes and pathway used by the pineal gland. So these include the skin, the eye's crystalline lens, and other ocular tissues, the gut, the testis, ovary, uterus, bone marrow, placenta, pre-ovum oocytes, red blood cells, platelets, lymphocytes, astrocytes in the nervous system, nerve protective glia cells, immune and tissue resident mast cells, and the electrically excitable nerve cell units, the neurons. All right, so yeah, your body can produce melatonin, but it's not going to be used the same way as the melatonin that is produced from the pineal gland. It's been determined that although there is more melatonin produced altogether from these extra pineal cells than from the pineal gland, those amounts cannot replace nor compensate the pineal-derived melatonin in terms of circadian rhythm regulation in response to dark and light environments. Thus, melatonin signals from the pineal influence the body's daily physiological activities, meal times, sleep, metabolism. Okay, and sleep again. I accidentally put the word sleep in again. I should leave it there just to emphasize the fact that sleep is very important. Okay, so the pineal blood filtration rate is comparable to that of the kidneys, where calcification may occur. Researchers have long believed that pineal calcification was associated with certain disorders such as schizophrenia and mammary carcinoma. Very diverse health conditions, right? While others felt that calcification is a natural process that can occur in childhood while seeming to have a direct influence on neurodegenerative diseases in the aging, since the rate of calcification increases with aging. Again, what comes first, calcification or things that cause aging? Things that cause aging, do they cause calcification, right? Large amounts of evidence also suggest that pineal calcification is associated with neurodegenerative disorders such as Alzheimer's disease as a result of decreased melatonin production levels, since it is a well-established neuroprotector as a potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. So here are some foods that contain melatonin, things like herbs, vegetables, fruits, grains, beans, eggs, meats, fish, milk, wine, and coffee. Food-derived melatonin can elevate serum melatonin levels that can match nighttime peak levels, although the melatonin released into the cerebral spinal fluid likely does not reach nighttime levels. Okay, so it's how your body uses it and where it distributes it. Again, the pineal gland is extremely important. However, food-derived melatonin can elevate serotonin, serum melatonin levels at night, peak time levels. So it varies, right? It's just your body's just distributing it and trying to use it whenever it's possible. I mean, it does other things besides in the body as it's circulating as a result of what you're eating. It's circulating and being used in other ways. But the pineal gland is the only one in its production of melatonin that regulates your sleep cycles, which affects your immune system and affects all these other systems that can degenerate and form the disease process. The brain, which consumes about 20% of the body's total oxygen, is vulnerable to more oxidative stress than other organs since it cannot produce the oxidative enzyme catalase. A decrease in melatonin production leads to neurons being subject to deposits of beta amyloid protein or plaques, a hallmark of nerve degenerative diseases. So studies report the negative association between Alzheimer's disease and serum cerebral spinal fluid melatonin levels. Melatonin also suppresses intracellular neurotangles, the abnormal accumulations of hyperphosphorylated tau protein that collects inside your neurons and destroy your neurons, and that's another biomarker of Alzheimer's. So anyone who is being tested for Alzheimer's, these are the biomarkers that they test for. All right, so I hope that was some great, valuable information for all of you out there. And yeah, I go into, on this newsletter, the member subscribers can look up all kinds of wonderful things like the antioxidants in pineal protective botanicals they outline here, and also foods containing melatonin, foods that are nerve protective. There's just huge array of wonderful botanicals in nature in our foods that have been shown to improve all of these systems to prevent the degenerative disease process. Also, for members, I include a no-grain, easy bread recipe that I discovered on the internet. So, you know, those of you who are interested, and I always include all of my scientific references in the reference section, so members can click on these and go and explore and see in greater detail what the scientists have discovered. So everything that I present in the newsletter is backed up by scientific research. My own book, The Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health, I spent 18 months researching 109 botanicals and their healing properties and their health recovery capabilities that nourish the cells in the body. So I always like to include my own reference source, because in that reference source, you've got over 1,000 scientific references that I list just like this. Okay, so True Health Mastery Institute members, again, if you liked what you heard tonight, please remember to like the video, tap that like button, tap that notification bell so you get informed and notified when more life-saving, invaluable information is coming on this channel. Tap the notification bell, share as much as you can to people who, you know, maybe are taking on some of these health issues that you really care about, right? So as soon as I produce this video, I'm going to insert the link right here where you see change to current video. So this is a note to myself to install the link that you are seeing right now to my members so that I can send this off to my members. So anyhow, yeah, this is True Health Mastery Institute of Holistic Personal Health Management produces this True Health Journal newsletter, and I provide, you know, the public just a little glimpse of what this newsletter is all about and what it shows to the members, and all of the wonderful ways you can further explore and educate yourself and inform yourself and protect your health and make the right informed choices for your health management, you know. Alrighty, so these are the books that I have. You can go to holisticchoices.com and peruse my library there. Just click on Books by Mary Esther Gilbert, and you'll see the nutritional synergy system that I created that has served to reverse a lot of health issues at the micro cell level. So once you correct cell functioning at the micro level, then your body begins to function normally again. So that is what's very scientifically backed information, my own nutritional system. I have a course that goes with it, but these are the books that I have written over the years, and this is the Potent Superfoods book is the one that has 109 botanicals of healing, nutritional, at the cell level botanicals. Anyone who wants to lean out, whether you're overweight or you're an athlete, I wrote the Eating for Physical Power and Stamina book. That's me back in 85 in my first and last bodybuilding contest because I wasn't that vain. I had people in my gym bugging me to compete. All right, I'll compete, you know, a little local affair that it was. It was fun, but it was a pain, you know, paying so much attention to the minute details of leading out and stuff. You know, you don't have to be that extreme when you want to be fit and, you know, reduce your body fat to a healthy level. But anyhow, it was an experience. So anyway, I am very experienced in helping people lose weight because of the research and the real life transformation that it did for my health. Okay, and True Health Mastery, it's a primer that it will introduce you to the whole concept of holistic health, holistic lifestyle, holistic nutritional healing. So I really just summarize it up for people who are new to the subject. And also, if you want to know more about how to select the right supplements, you can either peruse my website for all the supplements that I offer, which are the homework's already been done, the research has already been done. I offer I feel the best supplements I can find in the world. So you know you're always getting your money's worth and efficaciousness that you need in the way of supplements. But this is a short little booklet that I wrote for a friend who is a fitness trainer, certified fitness trainer, and he asked me, you know, how can I guide my clients to find the right supplement? So I wrote this little book for him, but I decided to just go ahead and publish it. And it's been doing pretty well too. So it's a little introductory way of leaving out the toxins, the toxic allergenic ingredients in your supplements. All right, so yes, subscribe to my channel, please. I'm trying to get this word out. If you subscribe and you like and you share, even if you just press one of the buttons, it's still going to put this video in front of more and more people out there who are actually searching for this information. They're out there desperately trying this and that and just not getting the results they want and not getting the right knowledge that they need to totally master their health. That's why I called it True Health Mastery, because it's the truth and it's the only way to get healthy. Your body's cells at the DNA level need these nutrients and the right array and completeness of nutrients. So that's what I'm about. That's what I teach. That's what my systems are all about. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Yes, if you want to be a member, then again, holisticchoices.com, click on the True Health Mastery Institute link on the left side, and it will take you to the sign-up page. It will describe exactly all the perks you'll get as a member, access to this completeness of newsletter. You know, you'll be getting access to me. I'll be able to answer questions, and you know, if you want to have a personal consultation, I provide that to my members. I did retire my practice of 30 years and when I was in Northern California, but I've been reading and writing and teaching and educating people ever since for another 15 years now. But yeah, I love interacting with my members. I want to help you become truly a master of your nutritional health, which will translate into other areas of your health and fitness. Alrighty, so thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for hanging in here with me to the very end. Congratulations. Yeah, you know, attention spans are short, time crunches are short these days. So I appreciate you, all of you who are here with me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the share and say goodnight to everybody. Thanks so much again for joining me tonight, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.